presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are Southwest.
It was 1972 when the Washington Senators came to North Texas, and in the past 40 years, the Dallas-Fort Worth area and the Texas Rangers grew up together. The adopted franchise history unfolds like a family album, full of memories. Some look back upon fondly, others awkwardly, as if one would reflect on their own child growing up. For many of us, those recollections are as personal. The trip down this memory lane, located all these years in Arlington, provides the warmth that nostalgia brings. Favorite players, exciting moments, mileposts of our own lives.
On the pitch, swung on, line to center. Greer is there, he's calling, he's got it. Hello, perfect game. Kenny Rogers mobbed on the mound. 27 up, 27 down on July 28th.
Yet, like our community, like our own lives, our Rangers have matured into something to be very proud of. That awkward child has grown up, tall and handsome, acquiring integrity and success, providing so much joy. So today, another glorious opening day, we can sit back comfortably and begin the next chapter in the history, in the life of a favorite son.
Welcome to the opening week of baseball, presented by Burger King. And on an absolutely perfect April afternoon, welcome to Rangers Ballpark in Arlington and the 2012 season here on Fox Sports Southwest as the Texas Rangers open season number 41 of their history here against the Chicago White Sox. Welcome, I'm Dave Barnett. 41 opening days, including today, and two words come to mind to describe the feeling in this ballpark. Parking lots were starting to fill up 5 hours ago. One word would be anticipation. Anticipation that this will finally be the year in which the Rangers take that final step at the top of Mount Everest. Today they start back up that climb. And the other word would be celebration. Celebration of having won back-to-back American League championships and of the history that has been built here since 1972. My partner, Tom Grieve, of course, a big part of that history. He has been on the field taking part in some of the pregame ceremonies, threw a pregame strike, by the way, with the opening pitch. So in his stead, we welcome down on the field Emily Jones. And Emily, you had a chance to talk with today's opening day starter. That would, of course, be Colby Lewis.
That is right, Dave, and we've learned a lot about Ron Washington over the last 5 years, and one of those things is that he is fiercely loyal. But this was not just a decision of loyalty, it was a reward for performance in the past by Colby Lewis. He has been this staff's most consistent starter to date, and that's why he gets the ball here on opening day.
Start of a new season, and it's the official start for everybody to kind of let everything go that, what's happened, the last couple of years, and especially last year, and it's just a new season.
You couldn't ask for a more even keel guy to get the ball here today for the Rangers, hopefully setting the tone for what's to come for the rest of this rotation, Dave.
Emily, as of today, Colby Lewis will have started in all 5 different slots in a Rangers opening rotation. The Bombers flown over, 50,000 or so are in their seats, and we are just about ready for the first pitch of the 2012 season. Ranger baseball underway again as of today. Colby Lewis getting underway as he works to the Chicago White Sox leadoff hitting center fielder Alejandro De Aza. Colby Lewis's first opening day start. 23rd different Ranger to accept this honor today. And here in the first inning, he's got De Aza to be followed by the third baseman Brent Morel and the DH Adam Dunn. Speedy De Aza has Adrian Beltre in on the grass at third as he swings and misses. And welcome back to the booth, Tom Grieve. Nice job down there.
Thank you, Dave. Career high for Colby last year with 14 wins, 200 or more innings for 2 years in a row. A lot of fly balls. Gave up 35 home runs. That was the most in the American League. But bottom line is Colby's been a solid winning pitcher for the Rangers, especially in the postseason. Postseason for Colby, 4-1, 2.34 ERA in 8 postseason starts.
And this pop-up will reach the seats behind first base and keep the count at 3 balls and 2 strikes. De Aza also started one previous opening day. That was 5 years ago as a member of the Marlins. Had a good Cactus League, just under 300. And bangs one up the middle, and he's got a leadoff base hit. So De Aza is aboard. Here's the rest of the lineup today for new manager Robin Ventura. Morel, we will now see, then Adam Dunn. First baseman again. 12th straight opening day start at first. The club record, Paul Konerko. A.J. Pierzynski, the catcher. Alex Rios moving to right field this year. Alexei Ramirez at short. Diane Viciedo is in left, and Gordon Beckham moving down the lineup at second, batting 9th for Ventura. Strike to Morel, making his second opening day roster. 3rd round draft pick in 2008. He looks at strike 2.
Yeah, and that's a situation you don't like to be in against Colby as a right-hand hitter. Get ahead with his fastball, and now you've got to battle through an 0-2 count with who knows what. Curveball, sliders, changeups, probably a good assortment of off-speed pitches. That's what you're expecting, and then Colby sneaks a fastball that Morel was just barely able to get a piece of, but well located one up and away. Not much he could do with it.
How could you have a better opening day? 75 degrees. I guess the calendar says the first day of spring was 2 weeks and 2 days ago. We baseball fans know today is the first day of spring. 1-2 to Morel. Ron Washington hoping to keep his string alive. He has increased the Rangers' win total every year he's been the manager. Our umpiring crew today has Mike Winters behind the plate, with Wally Bell at first, Mark Wegner at second, and Brian Knight at third. Rangers in double play depth as the 1-2 pitch again fouled back. Took Brent Morel until May 30th to get his first walk last season. White Sox record for delaying that eventuality.
He doesn't walk much. He doesn't strike out a whole lot either. He's kind of a contact hitter that likes to swing the bat.
Swung and missed there for the season's first out. Here's the Ranger defense today behind Colby Lewis. Home Depot defense led the league in double plays last year. Beltre, Andrews, Kinsler, Napoli the infield, with Murphy, Hamilton, and Cruz the outfield, and Yorvi Torrealba for the second straight opening day behind the plate. Josh Hamilton went out to Arizona, really not making a secret of his desire to be the center fielder this year, and that is how he begins the season. We'll play some left but mostly center, and David Murphy no longer a fourth outfielder as Adam Dunn looks at a strike.
Well, Kobe did exactly what he does against right-hand hitters to Morel. He got ahead, struck him out with a cutter.
Just off the plate, says Mike Winters.
Well, Dunn is just the opposite of Morel. He walks a lot, but he also strikes out a lot. Pretty hard to imagine that after the season, the career he's had, that he could put together a year like he did last year, though.
Runner goes. Torrealba's throw in time.
And we saw Torrealba throw just like that, one right after the other in spring training. And the first one he has during the season gets a big out for Kobe Lewis. Not that easy a pitch to throw on either. It was a little bit inside. Had to throw around a gigantic target like Dunn. But he's able to do it with something on it and did it accurately.
Piazza last year 12 of 17 stealing. But here at the top of the first, he is out number 2 as Jorvic celebrates a perfect strike. And 3 balls and a strike to Adam Dunn.
That's a curveball that you'll get a lot of hitters to swing at. But again, Dunn, although he swings and misses a lot, he takes a lot of close pitches and works a lot of walks.
And gets a walk here. Last year had more walks than hits. So a good eye, but he had, with 6 more plate appearances, the worst batting average in Major League history last year. Down at 159.
That's pretty amazing. He's coming off 2 seasons where he averaged about 265, 38 home runs both years, and 100 RBIs both years. And the first year with the White Sox was just a disaster.
So 2 of the first 3 White Sox reach against Lewis, but with 2 outs. Here is Paul Konerko. Extending his club record today, 12th straight opening day start at first base. Todd Helton will start his 15th straight at first today. That is the top active streak for that position. And this pop-up, playable in foul ground for Mike Napoli in the coach's box, and that takes care of the White Sox in the top half of the first. A hit, a man left. Ian Kinsler of the Rangers coming to bat. Northwest is brought to you by your Texas Ford dealers. Visit your local Ford dealer and drive the 2012 F-150 Motor Trend Truck of the Year. Ford is the best in Texas. By Budweiser, great times are waiting. Grab some buds. And by the Progressive Insurance Group. For money-saving car insurance quote, call 1-800-PROGRESSIVE today. Dave Barnett and Tom Grieve.
And a house that was guaranteed to be packed several days ago. Not even an SRO seat spot to be had today. As the Rangers batting order, we'll begin with Ian Kinsler, Elvis Andrus, Josh Hamilton. Beltre cleanup. Michael Young is the DH with Cruz in right, Napoli at first. Torrey Alba will bat 8th. And David Murphy will bat 9th against John Danks of Austin and Round Rock High School, who delivers low.
First opening day start for John Danks. He was 8-12 last year. That's after an 0-8 start. He's had at least 25 starts.
And right away, Ian Kinsler bangs one into the corner for extra bases. A leadoff double.
Well, Ian's had 5 or 6 extra base hits against John Danks. He adds another one to it right off the bat here to start the ball game. Fastball inside part of the plate. Ian gets on top of that ball, hits a hard shot right by Morel at third base. Not much he could do about it. Now Elvis gets a shot to go to right field, move the runner to third. Right fielder Alex Rios playing very shallow for Elvis.
Ian, who of course last year led off with a home run. Only Otoby McDowell had done that in 1987 opening day as the leadoff Ranger. Elvis sprays the first pitch.
Mentioned that this is John Danks' first opening day start. Generally, it's been Mark Burley, another left-hander. Burley left the White Sox as a free agent and signed with the Marlins in the offseason.
A bunt laid down, and it is a good one. Only to play at first. And here's the Home Depot White Sox defense. Good group last year. New faces: Viciedo in left, Piazza center, Rios in right with Morel in third, Ramirez, Beckham, Konerko the infield, and the veteran Pierzynski behind the plate. So Josh Hamilton's first at bat of 2012 comes up in an RBI situation. One out and Kinsler at third.
Yep, you got the infield back. Fly ball will score him. Ground ball could score him.
Deep enough into center field. Piazza delivers the throw late and up the line, and the Rangers have a 1-0 lead. Welcome to the booth, and welcome officially from your duties on the field.
Thank you, Dave. Great to be here on opening day. Nothing like it.
That had to be a blast down there.
The thing, every time I get a chance to be on the field before the ball game like that, the thing that comes back is what a great feeling it was to have been a player and to be down on the field on a day like opening day with a huge crowd like that. The excitement, so far removed as a player, yet still remembering that feeling and what the players who were lined on the third base and first base lines felt like before the ball game. Toby Harrah and I were standing together saying and thinking the exact same thing, how exciting it was to be down there, even though we don't have anything to do with the ball game. But nothing like opening day, whether it's for your little league team, your high school team, whatever. It's nothing better.
Adrian Beltre lost that one out to Piazza, a shallow center. And that takes care of the Rangers first, but they get an early lead on the leadoff double by Kinsler, the sacrifice by Andrus, and the sac fly by Hamilton. This is a shot from the brand new Budweiser bow tie, part of the extensive reworking of the center field area here at the ballpark, and that is what the plaza looks like out there. Not so new. Let's welcome for the first time this year, Jim Knox.
All right, thanks, Dave. We're going to have some fun at that Budweiser bow tie, and these guys having fun at the opening day. Huh? Great story here, guys. Dave and Tom, Dick Bosman pitched in the season opener, very first season opener for the Rangers back in 1972. A very special day, more ways than one. What was that about?
Well, my wife, Michelle, was overdue with our first daughter, Michelle, and she was in labor all day, didn't tell me because I was pitching that night. So during the game, Dr. Rest, our team doctor, told our owner she's ready to go. So I had just left the game in the 7th inning and had to hurry up and shower and get out of there.
There you go. And Michelle is with you today. And I guess you've heard that story, Michelle, a zillion times.
Yes, I have, at least.
Very nice. Right now, Dick, you are also the pitching coordinator at Tampa Bay. Great to have you out here for opening day festivities. And good luck. Thanks.
Thank you. It's great seeing you all.
All right, appreciate it. Dave?
Good to see him still sporting the handlebar mustache. He makes that work, doesn't he?
Bozzy's in great shape, too. He's done a great job, too. He's the coordinator for Tampa Bay's minor league pitching system. And, boy, they've ushered a few top-notch pitchers through that system right to the big league club. He's been integral in that whole process.
2-1 to Alex Rios after the one-pitch pop to second by A.J. Pierzynski begins the second inning. Rios, third straight opening day start for the White Sox. His first in right field, however.
You can tell that cutter looks just like his fastball. That's the pitch that Morel struck out on. And you can tell Rios swung at that like he thought it was a fastball. Laid off that one, though. Rios is another guy that's trying to bounce back from a bad year. He had 280 in 2010. Nothing close to that last year, though.
227 last year. This pop will come right below us.
21 home runs 2 years ago, 13 last year, and half as many RBIs, 88 to 44. And he wasn't hurt. He had well over 500 at bats. He just had a down year.
Moving over this year, of course, Carlos Quentin is the most noticeable missing name from last year to this year among the everyday White Sox. Mark Burley has moved on to the Marlins. Sergio Santos has moved on as well. No longer their closer. And another pop-up. This one out into short left center field, and Elvis Andrus puts away out number 2. To celebrate 40 years of baseball in the Metroplex, Metro PCS and Southwest Airlines are offering a chance to win a trip for 4 to watch the Rangers play in Los Angeles. Register to win at MetroPCSFlyaway.com. Oh boy, that's already started.
Tough to walk by that stand and smell those onions and not say, give me one.
Spend a few months away from that. You think you can resist the temptation and the lure, but no.
Pretty tough.
Check swing may have tapped Ramirez on a finger as it also got the bat.
One thing that's very evident after 31 pitches is why Kobe Lewis is successful. He can throw any pitch in any count anytime he wants. He's never locked into his fastball. And as a hitter, you really don't have the slightest idea what's coming.
He gets Alexei Ramirez with the breaking ball, his second strikeout, and White Sox go in order in the second.
First pitch to Michael Young is a strike. Young, Cruz, and Napoli here in the Rangers second. They got a run of the first off John Danks. And Michael today tying a franchise record. Pudge Rodriguez, the only other Ranger to start 11 opening days, let alone 11 consecutive. And that is the streak Michael reaches here. Only he and Al Scoop Oliver have started at 4 different positions on opening day. Michael coming off a career year. Getting better the older he gets. Tied for the major league lead. His 6th 200 hit season. 338. His regular season average last year. As the Rangers as a club for the 2nd straight year led the majors in batting at 283. 3rd time in the last 4 years. And we check our sport leaderboard. Josh Hamilton, 2 years ago, the club record 359. Julio Franco is the AL batting champ in 91, had the previous mark. And Michael last year, 3rd best single season in franchise history. Sends the Ozza back toward the gap for out number 1. Let's welcome again Emily Jones.
Well, perhaps one of the most recognizable moments in this franchise's history came on a mound almost 20 years ago between Nolan Ryan and Robin Ventura. 20 years later, almost, those two had never spoken until today. Nolan went over to the White Sox clubhouse to wish Robin Ventura well. I asked Nolan how that meeting went, and he said, "Does it look like I have any knots on my head or anything?" And I said, "No. Looks like it went well, guys."
Well, that's good.
That was a long time coming, and I couldn't be happier that that took place today. Yeah, it's one thing if you've got 2 crazy people involved in something like that, but when you got 2 mild-mannered, quiet, well-respected people that just by baseball circumstances ended up in that situation, I'm glad that they've shook hands and it's over with.
This will be another out in the air as Cruz sends one out to Alex Rios. And you know, you have to say this. I mean, Robin Ventura has become the favorite villain in the history of the Ranger franchise, but you have to say this. He has worn it with great good humor, I think, over the years. And he's been asked about it as often as Nolan has, if not more. Thousands of times.
If you're Nolan and you're asked about it, that's one thing. But if you're Robin asked about it, it's a little bit tougher. But for people in baseball that know Robin, you know what a wonderful person he is and what a terrific player he was too. So I'm glad that maybe we put that whole thing to rest.
Didn't take long to get the first chance of Napoli going here in the ballpark.
Yeah, that was something during postseason play last year.
Check it again with Emily.
Well, and you'll notice that that video no longer plays pregame. Chuck Morgan and Nolan talked about it and said it was probably time to put that to bed. It is a great clip. It's a wonderful part of this team's history, but obviously some things have been done on the field in recent years that can trump that, so to speak.
Yes.
You're right there, Em.
There are actual highlights to show out there now. Well, when Robin Ventura very briefly was with the Dodgers, this is 2004. I'd never met him. Talked to him before the game. Naturally, being from here, it's the first thing I asked him. And it was as if he had never been asked that before. He handled it with such aplomb and class and went through the whole thing. And, you know, everybody knows the story. But
well, that just shows you what kind of guy he is.
He's never managed. White Sox think he's a quality enough baseball man to lead them in the post-Ozzie Guillen portion of their long franchise history. Just brought him back on board last year as a special assignment scout. 3-2 pitch from Danks is foul tipped into Pierzynski's mitt, and the Rangers go in order in the second. We played 2 opening day 2012 1-0 Rangers.
All on Fox Sports Southwest is brought to you by Geico Insurance. 15 minutes could save you 15% on car insurance. Visit us at geico.com or call 1-800-947-AUTO. By Whataburger, proud to serve it hot and fresh 24 hours a day. And by the all-new Mazda CX-5 with 35 highway MPG. Diane Viciedo, Gordon Beckham, and Alejandro De Aza in the White Sox third against Colby Lewis. And we welcome the Rangers opening day shortstop for the first 5 years of this franchise's history. Toby Harrah joins us up here in the booth.
Great to be here.
What was it like for you down on the field? I counted 13 members of that original 1972 Rangers team.
A lot of old memories. A lot of my teammates. I think that probably stands out more than anything. Instead of the games played, it's the friendships you've developed over the years that you still have, hopefully. Hopefully nobody gets too mad at me anymore.
And somehow you've kept a friendship going with that gentleman over there?
Oh, Tag and I, we go back a long way. We played a lot of baseball together.
We played in the minor leagues. We played in the instructional league. We played in the big leagues. We played in Venezuela. You name it. We've been together for a long time.
One of my favorite teammates of all time. One of the best. You know, how about today? What a beautiful day. Wow.
Viciedo driving one into the gap, and that one will reach the wall out at left center field. And the new White Sox left fielder has a leadoff double.
How about this ballpark? Beautiful ballpark, man. I can smell the hot dogs and peanuts and the beer. And the only thing better than this is be out on that playing field right now playing.
Well, you know, we were talking about that, Tobe, when we were down on the field. You forget when you're up here or in the stands watching a game how exciting it was to have been a player and been down on the field with 48,000 people in the stands. That's pretty exciting, wasn't it?
That's the best feeling in the world. Nothing beats it. It's the best.
Now, let me take both of you back to a different circumstance. First game, Arlington Stadium history, after the strike, 1972. The ballpark was barely half full. How can you reconcile this atmosphere with the very first dose this area got of Ranger baseball? What was that like that night? Did you wonder, why have we moved here from Washington?
Well, you know, our nation's capital, that's kind of like the center of everything. And then you come here to Arlington where there was hardly anything here. And it was such a big change, but at the same time, the fans, they just were so hungry for Major League Baseball. And the weather was warm. And although the wind always blew in that old ballpark and it got hotter than the son of a gun, still, though, you were playing against the best baseball players in the world. You know, from George Brett to Greg Nettles. You know, you got Mark Belanger and Orioles and Brooks Robinson when I first came up. Those are some great ball players.
Yeah, I think, Dave, most of us didn't stop to think what it might be like in the future. We were just glad to be in the big leagues. And the people in Texas were so warm and so nice that even though we didn't have a lot of fans early on, it was still a pleasure and an honor to be part of the first team that ever came here to play it in the Metroplex.
Gordon Beckham takes a called strike for Colby Lewis's third strikeout, out number one here in the third inning.
The other side of it was we weren't exactly drawing a lot of people in Washington either.
No.
So,
no.
You know, Bob Short left Washington because he was going broke.
That's right.
Well, this may look familiar. Final game, RFK Stadium, 1971.
Toby played in that game. I wasn't a part of that game, but that must have been pretty unbelievable. Huh?
Oh, it was unbelievable. I had to run off the field. They're trying to tear my uniform off of me. They're grabbing my hat. I was scared for my life.
That was in your home park.
That was right there in RFK.
If only there was that much passion, you would never have had to leave.
It was quite an exciting event. But we're glad to come down here in Texas. You know, even though we lost 100 ball games, and you know, the old clubhouse used to be in center field.
Right.
We would have to walk from the dugout all the way to the clubhouse, and even then the fans would be standing and clapping for us, as bad as we were.
54 wins that first season, 1972.
Rich Billings at the luncheon yesterday was asked, what was the difference between the Rangers in 1972 and the Rangers now? And Rich said, that's pretty simple. they've got a lot of talent. We didn't have any. And, unfortunately, he was right. But Tobe, we've said this a million times. They have a lot of talent, and we weren't very good as a team, but no one had more fun than we did.
Oh, it was a blast. I wish we could do it all over again, Tag. And honestly, I probably want to do it the same way.
Yeah, me too.
Piazza chases that one in the dirt. Out number 2, strikeout number 4. Toby Harrah, one of the great Rangers, member of the Hall of Fame, 3-time All-Star, last active player to have played for the Senators. Before moving on 1979 in the Buddy Bell trade to Cleveland Indians. Ask you to put your baseball veterans hat on and analyze the chances for the Rangers to finally take that final step and win the whole thing this year.
Well, they just from top to bottom, from Nolan Ryan all the way down through Daniels and Ronnie Washington. Everybody, this organization is just first class, and the product they're putting out on the field, it's second to none. It just, I believe the team, the pitching staff stays the healthiest, has the best chance of being there at the end, because even though this is probably the best hitting ball club in baseball, pitching, it all starts with pitching and ends with pitching, and that has a lot to do with how good a defense you play too. When you got good pitching, it's easier to play. It's easier to play with 2 out and nobody on, that ground ball hit to you, than it is with the bases loaded all the time and 1 out and you got to turn it. So, no, I think the Rangers have a great chance of doing it again like they have in the past couple of years. Just have to be a little lucky at times.
And Tobe, you're still working as a minor league hitting instructor, coordinator with the Tigers, so you got to feel pretty good about your team too, don't you?
I feel real good about the Tigers. I feel like it might end up with the Tigers and Rangers again, like it did in the past.
Yeah.
The Tigers had a chance to get Kobe Lewis. He was pitching AAA ball one time for the Tigers, and he kind of slipped through our hands, and here he is pitching for the Rangers here on opening day. So you just never know about this game of baseball.
Everybody knows about Prince Fielder now in a Tiger uniform. What's the second best story going on there this year that was not a part of last year's Tigers?
Well, the ball club is really pretty much set. I think, you got Valverde closing, and of course, when you got Verlander, who's was MVP in the league last year, Cy Young winner, that's a pretty good foundation to start with. Having Cabrera playing third base is going to be big for the Tigers.
Is that going to work?
Only time will tell. If he drives in more than he lets in, it'll be a good deal.
There's a worthy goal for a third baseman.
Well, he came up as a third baseman.
Yes.
He hasn't played there much, but
he's
got
good
some
hands.
strikeout pitchers that might limit the amount of chances he gets. That wouldn't be all bad.
Lewis works around the leadoff double by VC80, strikes out the side. Toby Harrah, a terrific honor to have you up here. Enjoy the rest of the day.
Oh, thank you.
Thanks
for having me up. It's a privilege to be a part of the Ranger organization, and I'm happy to be a part of it.
One of the Ranger originals here on opening day. At Bat 12 app here. iPhone, iPad, Android, and Windows Mobile. Get live audio, pitch tracking, video highlights, and more. Text at bat to 31826 or visit TexasRangers.com for details. Well, thanks again to Toby Harrah joining us up here. Yorvi Torrealba, David Murphy, and Ian Kinsler in the Ranger third, leading 1-0. First inning run, a leadoff double by Kinsler, and 2 batters later, a sacrifice fly by Hamilton.
It was great to have Toby up in the booth and to talk to him. And while we were doing that, it was some pretty incredible pitching by Colby Lewis after the leadoff double. We're talking about an assortment of unhittable pitches that he threw to Beckham, Diaza, and Morel. A little bit of everything: fastballs, sliders, cutters, curveballs, you name it. And the leadoff double stayed right at second.
Torrealba chops back to the mound. 6 in a row, 7 in a row now, retired by Danks. Stay tuned for a sneak peek of the Three Stooges, the movie, later in the game.
Pretty good likenesses of the old Stooges, boy.
Yes, they are.
Got a couple of things to mention, Dave, here in the third inning. Janice Corthay, who's a season ticket holder for the Rangers, can't be here today. She's in the hospital. We want to say hi to her and wish her all the best. Thanks for being such a loyal fan of the Rangers. And David Marshall celebrated his 87th birthday yesterday. He's going to be at the ball game today with his grandsons, a 20-year veteran of the Air Force. He was in England during World War II. Retired as a chief master sergeant. So, James, thank you very much for your service. Thanks for being here. We appreciate it.
1-2 pitch to David Murphy. Misses away.
And lastly, thanks to Katherine Johnson. She has sent the first batch of cookies this year, chocolate stuffed cookies. So thank you very much, Katherine. I can tell watching everybody up here that they're a big hit. And now maybe David will get a big hit right here. And lastly, I was unaware of this, our director, the veteran, Dave Burchett, turned 59 years old today. I did not even know that.
See, he could pick the shots and make us think he's actually only 40.
Yeah, that's somebody else. Dave was 40 19 years ago.
That is not the Burchetts. I know the Burchetts. That's not them.
Someone's 40 today. Ah, the Rangers. And I bet you someone else is 40 today, too.
Trouble if it's fair, down the line, and just foul.
Wow, I thought that hooked around the pole. That was a pretty tough pitch to hit that far, too, with a fastball up and in. And David just barely trying to throw it down and away. Instead, the slider hangs up and in. Danks holds his breath. And the ball goes into the triangle, just a little bit foul.
And the next pitch, second strikeout for Danks. So 2 outs and back to the top of the order in Kinsler.
Good pitch, changeup, tailing down and in. Really nice pitch.
Danks has allowed only the 1 hit, and it was to this man. Second pitch of the season. Kinsler grounding a double into the left field corner. Sacrificed to third by Andrews. Scoring on the sac fly to center by Hamilton. Danks trying to retire his 9th straight. Ian coming off, of course, his second 30-30 season a year ago. Making his 6th opening day start. Missed 2 years ago with a high ankle sprain. He thus passes Bump Wills for the most opening day starts in Ranger history at second base. And he is a quick starter, career .333 average. The first game of the season. In this rarefied air of 30-30 active players: Alfonso Soriano, Bobby Abreu. Well hit deep left field. Another opening day home run for Ian Kinsler, and it's 2-0.
They've thrown him a lot of fastballs. Ian hit a double on a fastball. That was an off-speed pitch that stayed up, and Ian waited on it just right and launched it just out of the ballpark, a couple of rows back to left field. Big start for Ian, a double and a home run. 2 runs scored in the first 3 innings of the ball game. There's a hanging breaking ball, top of the strike zone, and that's the second ball that Danks has hung this inning. Murphy just missed a home run down the right field line, and Ian kept that one just fair down the left field line.
Elvis Andrus follows with a deep drive up against the track. Viciedo brings that one home. So Danks has allowed 2 base hits. They have both been to Kinsler. And it's now 2-0.
Here, this is Willie Braun. He's the lead singer of Reckless Kelly, the big band that sang the national anthem before the game. How nerve-wracking was it, Willie?
It's pretty nerve-wracking to be down there on the field with all those ball players and the flag, and got the jet coming over. So, yeah, it's one of the only times we ever get nervous anymore is doing that.
Now, you're a big-time Ranger fan, live in Austin. You're such a big Ranger fan. You sang the national anthem, but you guys now fly to Oklahoma for a concert tonight?
Yeah, we're going to head out of here in a little bit and go up to Stillwater tonight, and then we're in Oklahoma City tomorrow. So we're on the road.
There we go, Willie. Good to have you. Appreciate it. Best of luck tonight. Thanks, Dave.
They did a good job again.
Yeah, they didn't sound nervous. They were terrific.
Adam Dunn leading off the 4th inning. He walked in the first. 3, 4, and 5 hitters. Konerko and Pierzynski here in the top half of the 4th. Lewis drops in the curve for a strike. 5 strikeouts through 3. Strike out the side after allowing Viciedo the leadoff double in the 3rd. Only other hit to the first batter of the season, Diaza, a single. Immediately caught stealing by Torrealba. And this foul will end up out of play.
Kobe has such a good assortment of off-speed pitches. We talked about all of them. Curveball, slider, cutter, changeup, you name it. That his fastball doesn't have to be 95 miles an hour. Now he has to locate it well. But when he does 88 miles an hour, you get swings like that where Dunn was just kind of a defensive swing and fouled it off down the left field line.
We're talking about so much history today. Pre-radar gun, wouldn't Colby Lewis have been back in 60s, 70s, maybe into the early 80s, a much more prototypical pitcher in terms of how he goes about his business and not being all about hitting 95?
Yeah, I think that might be true. Now, they had a lot of hard throwers back then. I think the percentage of hard throwers might be a little higher now. The, say, percentage of guys that throw over 95 miles an hour. I think it's probably higher now than it used to be, just because guys are bigger, stronger, and those things happen as sports evolve. But, yeah, I think Kobe is the epitome of a pitcher that has a good repertoire of pitches and knows how to pitch. And maybe in that regard, yeah, you might be right. It's kind of a throwback. He's definitely not a typical starting pitcher today with that kind of an arsenal of pitches to get hitters out with.
Well, he has struck out 6 now, including the last 4 White Sox. Finally putting one into play is Konerko, and Kinsler not able to make that back to home plate over the shoulder grab, which we have seen him make over and over again. That's about as far as I think we've ever seen him range to try and bring that one in there.
Yeah, Josh must have been playing pretty deep. Either that or he didn't get a very good jump, because that ball hung up there quite a bit. Now, Konerko, it's a tough play for a center fielder because the hitter takes a big swing and he hits it off the end of the bat. And when you've got a power hitter like Konerko, your first sense is this ball's hit pretty well. And then you realize it's off the end of the bat and didn't go that far. And it's tough to recover. And I couldn't tell exactly on that ball what Josh did. And it might have just been one of those balls that was hit right between them, and there's nothing either one of them could do. Ian got to it, just with his back to the plate, couldn't hold on to it.
So that ends the strikeout run. A.J. Pierzynski popped to Kinsler his first time up.
Change up. You just got to be shaking your head when you go up there right now. I don't know where it's going to be, what it's going to be, or how I'm going to hit it. I hope he makes a mistake.
That one is banged into right center field for a base hit. Nice pickup by Hamilton. That had extra bases written all over.
That was going to be a double and a run right there if he didn't short hop that ball. He wanted to try to catch it, and it was a line shot, hit hard. And he kind of realized he couldn't catch it. He recovered, went back just a step, and then made a really nice play on a short hop. That's some kind of play there.
Not many center fielders keep that one from going to the wall. Hamilton did, so 2 aboard with 1 out for Alex Rios. He popped to Andrews in the second. Four hits now for Chicago. Opening day last year, by this time they were putting 14 runs on the board in the first 4 innings, a major league opening day record at Cleveland.
And speaking of major league records, how about the extra inning game yesterday? Longest game in major league history was played yesterday. Opening day game. Blue Jays won it on a walk-off. No, it wasn't a walk-off. They were playing in Cleveland, weren't they? Or were they?
Yes.
So it wasn't a walk-off.
Cruz puts that high drive from Rios away, out number 2.
It's funny, you go through spring training as a regular player, especially a catcher, and maybe you catch 9 innings a couple of times. Most of the times you catch 4 or 5 innings, 6 innings maybe. And then you come out right straight from spring training, you're Aaron Sebia, and you catch 16 innings in a ball game right off the bat. First game of the season.
4-game summary. Great start again this year for Kinsler. He owns opening day. Colby Lewis, last inning, allowed a leadoff double to Viciedo, struck out the side. Danks has pitched well. If only he didn't have to deal to Ian. And here is Ramirez, who struck out his first trip. Konerko at second, Pierzynski at first. White Sox scored 8 in the 4th last year in Cleveland, and they had to hang on. 14 runs in the first 4 innings, and they won 15-10. This for the White Sox, opening day number 112. They're 58 and 53.
He almost swung at that pitch. Ramirez doesn't hit a lot of home runs, but he's developed into a 15 home run guy. You have to be careful with him. You can get him to chase a breaking ball. He makes pretty good contact, and if you hang one or get one in the middle of the strike zone, he can put a pretty good swing on it.
Went around on that one, and it's 1-2, and Lewis is a strike away from again leaving a man in scoring position.
Oh, he's swung at this 2 out of 3 times and just barely laid off at the other time. You can see how far outside those sliders are. He's a little over anxious with a couple of men on base right here. Toby so far in this at-bat's taking advantage of it.
Ramirez last year, career year in 7 categories. More hits than any other American League shortstop. But again, down on strikes.
I think he's got the number of Alexei Ramirez with that slider.
2 more strikeouts in the 4th for Colby Lewis. 7 and counting. Trivia question of the year. We were the only 2 Texas players to get a hit in the franchise's first ever game as the Texas Rangers on April 15th, 1972. Once again, from the Budweiser bow tie, the new plaza out there in center field, featuring lots of shade, lots of room to move around. And Josh Hamilton grounds the first pitch at the bottom of the 4th for a base hit.
A good day so far for Josh. A sunny day game. Tough left-handed pitcher. Sacrifice fly and a base hit up the middle. Good start.
Josh, for whom 5 of his last 6 preseason hits were for extra bases, as a sacrifice fly in the 1st, and got the Rangers off to this start.
I probably only watched batting practice a handful of times in spring training, but watching Josh today was by far the best he's looked the times I saw him in spring training, and then today he really looked good swinging the bat today in batting practice.
Beltre, first ball hitting out to De Aza, who retired him in the 1st as well. John Danks, brother Jordan, twice drafted by the Red Sox, signed the 2nd time, still with him. Sister Emily, a 3-year starter for the Ohio State volleyball team. Father John, Great UT basketball play of the late 70s for Abe Lemons. John, 26 now, former Gatorade Texas High School Player of the Year 2003 for Round Rock. The year the Rangers made him the 9th pick in the draft. And this one from Young, lifted high and shallow to right. And Rios is there for out number 2.
Danks is not really an exceptionally hard thrower. I think he threw a little harder when he first came up than he's throwing today. But he's got plenty of fastball. Michael's a little bit late on that fastball, 89, 91-ish, right around in there. But it's the complementary pitches that you have that go along with your fastball that really determines how effective your fastball is. And without a radar gun, all you have to do is watch the hitters and how they swing, and you get a pretty good idea whether it's a good fastball or a bad fastball, regardless of what the radar gun says.
Last 4 Rangers have each gone after the first pitch. That was Andrews flying to left to end the 3rd. Hamilton singled on the first pitch of the inning. Beltre and Young went after the first pitch. Cruz lets that one go. And he loves opening day. His 4th start. 2 hits and a run each of his first 3. Last 2 for Nelly. He has totaled 6 hits and 2 home runs. He had a great early home run last year. A notion on that one. 1-2.
The strike. Yeah, right at the top of the Fox tracks. Borderline pitch. Hitters don't like that call, and umpires don't always call that pitch a strike. I like it when they do. Gives pitchers somewhat of a chance in today's game.
Smothered by Pierzynski, and it's 2-2. Both Hamilton and Cruz lighter this year, up 15 pounds. Nelly making it his offseason project not to miss time because of hamstring injuries this year. Completely revamped his offseason regimen. Went with Mike Napoli to the pre-combine workouts that football players had long gone to in Florida. And says not only dropped his weight by 15 pounds, but has his legs feeling much looser, much better overall shape. And he goes for that one, but it gets all the way to the backstop, and the inning continues.
There's a break. Got Nelly to chase a pitch out of the strike zone. And Pierzynski just kind of snaps at that ball. I think he just assumed he was going to catch it. It didn't bounce in front of him. That should be a pass ball. Pierzynski let that ball get by him. Could be a big play. Napoli parks one in the gap right now. It'll be a huge play. It'll been the last out of the inning on a very catchable ball, especially by someone like Pierzynski, who's a real solid veteran catcher. Just got a little careless on that one.
So here is Napoli, who struck out on a 3-2 pitch to end the 2nd.
And Danks is throwing the ball really well today. He's got himself a good assortment of pitches today.
You see the mind-boggling second half Napoli put together last year. Postseason at .328. He does go as a wild pitch. Strikeout wild pitch. Puts Cruz aboard.
I think that's. I thought it should have been a pass ball. I think, Mike, if you look at the last half of the season and postseason, he was the best offensive player in baseball. And that sounds like an exaggeration, but when you look at the overall numbers, you're looking at a guy that had almost a 1050 on base percentage plus slugging percentage. And when you look at the hits he got, he wasn't just hitting 2-run homers when the score was 15-3. He was hitting big hits down the stretch in postseason. He took a walk. He made contact. He drove the ball. Hit over 300. He was just an outstanding offensive player last year and did a good job behind the plate, too.
2-2.
The changeup right there and a fastball count by Danks.
It kind of got lost with all the postseason activity that followed. But for the Rangers to have home field advantage over the Tigers, they had to win their last 6 games. And Mike Napoli came as close to single-handedly sweeping the Angels.
He did.
Final regular season series of the year as you can come. Just a home run barrage in his old ballpark. Another strikeout here. That one again getting away from Pierzynski. He's able to handle this one. The Rangers leave 2 in the 4th, but lead by 2. And time to answer our AT&T trivia question. Only 2 Rangers to get a hit in the franchise's first ever game, April 15th, 1972. Hal King got the first hit in franchise history. Anybody get? No, you didn't. Nobody remembers that. And Toby Harrah got the other.
I don't remember that hit, but I remember Hal King.
What do you remember about it?
I remember in Detroit one day, he hit a line shot dead center field, little to the right of center field, into the upper deck over the 440 sign.
Wow.
He could hit him a long way. We used to call him Julio. Big, stocky guy.
First pitch of the 5th to Dion Viciedo. Out to Cruz. And as you could tell, we welcome Mark McLemore on the field for some of the pregame ceremonies. What was that like for you today?
It's always great. You get to, you get a chance to see all the old guys that you played with and some even older, and you reminisce a little bit, and guys get a little bit tired actually standing out there a lot sooner than they used to.
Mac, you want to borrow a tie for the next game you do up here?
I do. I need one of yours. Okay. Absolutely.
All right. The thing that hit me down there, Mac, was follically challenged like I am, was to stand down there for a half an hour in the sun with no sunscreen. Boy, believe me, dangerous.
I know exactly what you're talking about. No, but it's a lot of fun. You get out there, and I think everybody still wishes they could be out there in uniform playing, but it's a lot of fun to see the guys always.
Toby and I were talking, Mac, and I'm sure you feel the same way. When you're removed from the game, whether it's 1 year or 40 years, and you watch the game from the stands or from the booth, and then what a blooper to right field for a base hit, and then you're down on the field before a game like that, the only thing you think of is how great it was to have been in the uniform.
Yes, you see the guys running around, warming up, getting loose, getting ready for the game, and it's, man, that's where I want to be. That's what I want to be doing right now. So I know exactly what you're talking about.
What's your main memory of your very first opening day?
I got my first major league hit. That's my biggest memory. Got my first major league hit. I was with the California Angels, and we were playing the Seattle Mariners. Mark Langston was a starting pitcher. And
matter of fact, guy to get a hit off of.
I got a hit, yeah, absolutely, and it was the game-winning hit, as a matter of fact. So single to left field, drove in 2, I believe, and it was a great feeling.
Broken bat line drive. Elvis puts away out number 2. Diaza is 1 for 3. First dollar hot dog night of the season coming up Wednesday against the Mariners. You can save 50% on tickets for this ballpark tradition when you purchase them on TexasRangers.com. Get your Ozarka website Wednesday tickets and plan your trip to Dollar Dog Night on TexasRangers.com/specials. Was that at the Dome or in Anaheim?
That was in Anaheim. Bottom of the 7th inning. Langston was still in there, and Mike Witt was starting for us, and it was a great memory for me.
Brett Morrell just trying for some contact here. He has struck out swinging each of his first 2 at bats.
If you're a right-hand hitter especially, but a left-hand hitter also, you just don't want to get behind with Colby. You say you want to hit the first fastball, but then he doesn't give you a good one to hit. You're behind, and there's 2 fastballs, one inside, one outside. It's 0-2, and now he's thinking, well, he's trying to keep a positive attitude, Mac, but he's probably thinking my chances of getting a hit here are just not that good.
He's not feeling too well, especially after 2 punches, and he's down 0-2. That's not a very good feeling.
He might get something to hit. Colby, he's not perfect. He might make a mistake, but he throws that cutter, that slider, and keeps it out of the strike zone. Throws him another fastball just for good measure.
79 pitches now and 53 for strikes for Colby Lewis in his first opening day start. He has at least a strikeout at every inning so far except for this one, but going forward at 0-2 against Morrell.
Well, there's a mistake, and Colby got away with it. Just because you hang a slider doesn't mean it's going to be a base hit every time. The hitter still has to accomplish a good swing and good contact.
Almost got Beckham.
He was going too.
He was off to the races and almost got it.
Oh, boy, that was close.
Or did he get him? Well, Volleyball Bell said he didn't. But Lewis, for the 3rd straight time, gets Morrell swinging. A hit a man left. Halfway done, opening day. The Rangers still on top, 2-0. Colby Lewis through 5 has struck out 8. Best stretch was in the third after leadoff double of Vizcaino struck out Beckham, Diaza, and Morel. And Torrealba with a hot shot handled by Morel to begin the Rangers' fifth. Murphy next, and then Kinsler. Mark McLemore up here with us on opening day. Mac, you were always associated with good clubhouses. I mean, a great clubhouse leader and presence. How important is that when added to the talent that the Rangers have put together? As talented as they are, if they didn't get along as well, would it show up in wins and losses?
Not necessarily. I mean, I know Tag has seen a lot of teams over the years that didn't have great chemistry with one another.
Murphy bangs his first hit of the season opposite field. Right now, back quickly to our Fox Sports Southwest studio. Mazda CX-5 game break. Here's Rick Renner. All right, Rick, and here's Ian Kinsler, who has 2 of the 3 hits and now 4 hits allowed by John Danks. Leadoff double in the first, scored 2 batters later on a Hamilton sacrifice fly and a 2-out home run to left field in the third.
Dave, you're talking about clubhouse chemistry, and Mac played on a number of teams here with great clubhouse chemistry, veteran guys who played hard and were leaders in the clubhouse. The team now, I can't imagine a team getting along better than these guys, and both those teams were successful. And I think if you talk to the guys on both teams, they would say that's a big part of it. But I think on the other hand, you can look back to other teams. One that comes to mind for me was the A's team back in the 70s that we played against. You know, there was times where Billy North and Reggie Jackson were duking it out in the clubhouse, and you know, they didn't necessarily get along, but they were veteran professionals, and when they took the field, they played hard and played to win. So I don't think it's a prerequisite, but I'm sure you agree, Matt, given the choice, for 162 games, I'd rather get along with my teammates and like them.
Yeah, there's no question. It makes things easier. It's like you said, it's not a prerequisite. You don't need that, but it makes things a lot easier, a lot more fun to come to the ballpark every day, knowing that you've got 24, 25 guys, 30, you know, including the coaching staff, that get along and you're all going in the same direction.
I think if you're a veteran team and with a bunch of good players, it might not be as important. But if you're a young team looking for guidance, looking for leadership, then I think it really comes into play. Without it, you know, I think you can be lost.
Yeah, you can definitely be lost because they've never done it. They've never been through it, and they don't know how to do it. So you definitely need some veterans on a ball club in order for that to happen.
Kinsler drops down a bunt, fielded by Danks and dug out at first by Caderco.
You know, we talk about this a lot, and I think the one thing that gets overlooked so much, and it's not fair, is the guy that sets the tone for the clubhouse is Ron Washington. You know, we can talk about the players and how they get along, and they do, but it starts with one guy, and Ron gets credit, but I don't think he gets enough credit for what he's done for the franchise. What do you think, Matt?
I agree, Tom. It is that manager that sets the tone for any ball club each and every day he comes to the clubhouse. When in my day when I played, I'd watch and see what Johnny looked like when he came in. For the first time I saw him, what Lou looked like. I always wanted to see what that manager's demeanor was, and I just took it from there.
Right.
But it starts with the manager. It's those players play to whatever mood that manager's in. If the manager's tight, believe me, that's how the team is going to be.
Exactly.
To third, and Andrews retired by Morel. So for the Rangers, a hit and a man left here in the fifth, and great to be back with you this year, Mark McLemore.
It is great to be back.
Thanks, Matt.
All right.
Still 2-0 Rangers.
Big Scott, how many season openers have you been to?
This is my 13th year opening day. Loving it. I want to say hi to my wife, Tracy, my new baby boy, Che.
There we go. And Scott's a member of the Texas Rangers Baseball Foundation and Community Corner today. That's what we're talking about. Yesterday, 650 fans welcomed home the 2012 Texas Rangers baseball team. 40th anniversary celebration. A lot going on as they welcomed home all the guys. To find out more about becoming a member of the Texas Rangers Baseball Foundation, log on to TexasRangers.com. All right, guys.
Jim Knox out in the revamped center field area.
He's made some good pitches to Dunn, who's taken some close pitches that have been slightly out of the strike zone. He gets ahead in the count, 1-0. Looking fastball. Kobe throws him a good changeup. Another borderline pitch. That on the fastball.
Dunn walked in the first, struck out in the fourth. One of 8 strikeouts for Lewis. Dunn last year, a franchise record, 177 strikeouts.
Tough guy. He doesn't chase bad balls. Very seldom. But he's given him a good look at his fastball. He's way out in front of the off-speed pitches.
Our Geico quote comes from the Rangers pitching coach Mike Maddox. Leaving Arizona helps every pitcher. Ground balls actually slow down. Fly balls come out of the sky. Breaking balls break. Sinkers sink.
I know, being down on the field, that infield grass is absolutely plush. And it's good for the infielder, it's good for the pitcher. Not quite as good for the hitter, but it's absolutely beautiful.
That one is hit a long way, and it is well up into the upper porch in right field, and Adam Dunn has the White Sox on the board.
Well, he got a fastball. He was way out in front of the off-speed pitches. He took some borderline fastballs, and then he got a fastball to hit, and he didn't miss that one.
And with that, Adam Dunn has tied an all-time record, his 8th opening day home run. He joins Ken Griffey Jr. and Frank Robinson at the top of the Major League opening day home run list.
He got a fastball right down the middle of the plate, and he hit it
a long way. And here's Kaderko, who was fouled out and singled. Dunn was already in the heady company with 7 opening day homers. Eddie Matthews, Willie Mays, and Babe Ruth. Now he has surpassed even that group.
Well, we talked about it a lot, velocity, as you see Ogando getting loose. If you take the last 4 years for Kobe Lewis, 2 in the Japan League, 2 with the Rangers, he's pitched 756 innings and struck out 736 batters, almost a strikeout per inning.
Ground ball to Beltre, and an easy play.
And generally, when you see a guy striking out a batter an inning, it's a guy that lights up a radar gun. So Kobe is a good lesson to scouts that it's not just the radar gun that can make a guy successful. If Kobe let's say Kobe was 21 years old and he was in college and he had the exact same assortment of pitches in college that he does right now, might not even be a #1 draft choice. Probably wouldn't be, because to be a high draft choice, you have to light up a radar gun generally, unless you're maybe left-handed with a great curveball. But it just goes to show, if you know how to pitch, spot your fastball, and have a really good assortment of off-speed pitches, you can not only win in the big leagues, you can be a strikeout pitcher.
High fly fairly deep, but Cruz ranging into the corner with plenty of room. And there is out number 2. Pierzynski is 1 for 3. Brings up Rios, who has popped up and fly to Cruz. Distance on the home run by Adam Dunn, 431 feet.
Yeah, that's that's probably not where it would have ended up either, because that was a line drive almost a third of the way up to the upper deck. That had a lot more to travel.
That one hits Rios.
That was a slow curveball, so it definitely didn't hurt him.
74 miles per hour. Nicked him, so with 2 men out, the inning continues for Alexei Ramirez as Mike Maddox makes his first trip of the season out to the mound. Opening weekend will conclude Sunday night, and the first 30,000 fans will receive a replica American League trophy presented by Mission. Plus, it's an ice cream sundae with Bluebell ice cream for kids for only $1. Get your tickets today at TexasRangers.com or call 972-RANGERS. Come on out and enjoy Easter Sunday at the ballpark. Only about 4,000 tickets left for that matchup. Lewis nears the 100 pitch mark. Sunday night, you can see Matt Harrison against Gavin Floyd. For tomorrow night, standing room only or obstructed view, all that remains, and less than 1,000 of those. And that is for Derek Holland against Jake Peavy. 7:05 starter on Fox Sports Southwest tomorrow. Ramirez with Rios going, fouls one off Torrealba.
Well, Rios saw 4 straight sliders out of the strike zone the last time up. And that time he got the fastball he wanted, but he didn't hit it inside part of the plate. He's probably wondering whether that'll be the only fastball he sees.
Struck out swinging twice.
2 straight fastballs. He's got to be shaking his head. He's thinking, I swung and missed almost 4 times, 3.5 times. Had 4 sliders, cutters the last time up, and now I see 3 straight fastballs this time up. Kind of thinking he's not going to see 4 straight fastballs. I mean, 3 straight fastballs.
Lewis at least a strikeout every inning, yet to get one here in the 6th. Still at 8 for the game, about to throw pitch number 97.
He's got a good chance if he can throw the same slider he threw to him the last time up.
Runner going, and it's lined for a base hit into left field, and Rios will take third. Here's coming home. Here is the relay, not in time. And the White Sox have tied it with 2 runs here in the 6th.
That was just not the same slider that Kobe's been making. That wasn't a terrible pitch. It was 0-2. And the ones to Rios the last time were down and away and out of the strike zone. And he would have swung at the same pitch this time. But this one gets just a little bit of the plate, and he's able to get the bat on it. That ball's down and more outside. He swings and misses for strike 3.
Joe McEwing, the third base coach, waving Rios around, and even a more accurate throw would have been just a hair late from Andrews. So we start over now at 2-2. Ramirez taking second on that throw. Colby sailing through the first 5, but Dunn igniting the Chicago offense with his leadoff homer to the upper deck here in the 6th. And they follow with a 2-out run. Viciedo led off the 3rd with a double. There followed Lewis's best pitching of the day. Struck out the side. Last time up, he fly to right. Oh, 0-2. Redondo continues to throw in the bullpen, leading one to think this could well be Lewis's last batter of the game. And he gets Viciedo looking. Strikeout number 9. But the White Sox tie it with 2 on 2 hits. 1 man left. part of the Ranger order in their half of the sixth. By Sonic, today's jackpot is worth $100. And dinner for two at a Sonic drive-in. And today the Rangers are hitting for Jim Keese from Haltom City. If a Ranger hits a grand slam during this inning, Jim Keese of Haltom City wins $25,000. You can register at any participating Sonic restaurant. And for the second straight inning, Josh Hamilton leads off as he did the fourth with a first pitch single. He swung at 3 pitches, a sacrifice fly, and 2 base hits.
Another hard hit line drive. Josh looked like he's trying to go back through the middle, not try to pull the ball. Got the good part of the bat on the ball that time and lined it sharply into left field. See if the Rangers can move him around, unlike the fourth inning.
Adrian Beltre twice his fly to center. John Danks given new life. His hitters tying the game in the top half of the inning. And Lewis right at 100 pitches now, 70 for strikes. Well, as he's pitched, be a shame if he's not going to get a chance for a victory today. But his hitters can do something about it here. Beltre to be followed by Michael Young, who's also flied out both times. Morrell able to fight that one to a draw and throw out Beltre. Hamilton to scoring position.
Bad news is he was able to recover and get it out. Good news was he didn't pick it cleanly and turn a double play.
So the runner advanced, and now a couple of chances for the Rangers with Hamilton in scoring position. A lot of new faces in the White Sox bullpen. There's one of them, a young right-hander, Addison Reed.
He's one of those young, they've got 3 young guys on the bullpen that throw 95 plus. The kid from San Diego State only had 100 minor league innings and finds himself in the big leagues on opening day.
Base hit through the hole for Young. Here comes Hamilton. Vicieto's throw is into second, and the Rangers are back on top.
Well, I think all Michael needed was to have someone in scoring position. And once he did, he drove him in. Breaking ball caught a lot of the plate, and Michael did the rest.
And Tom, more success first ball hitting. Can't remember a game last year the Rangers jumped on the first pitch so often with such success as they've done against Danks today.
Well, I think the first pitch has been, for the most part, the best pitch to hit. After the first pitch, I think Danks has worked the hitters pretty well, mixing up his pitches, throwing a lot of good off-speed pitches to go with his fastball. But I think it's been a good plan so far.
Nelly Cruz, who has flied to right, and last time reached on a strikeout wild pitch. That kept the fourth inning going. But with 2 on, Danks was able to strike out the next man, Mike Napoli, as well to end that threat. On a pitch that Pierzynski could handle. Talked about the new offseason regimen for Nelly, who has played under 130 games, all 3 of his full major league seasons. Looking to address that issue this year, and if he is able to, there's no telling what his power numbers could end up as. MVP of the ALCS with a postseason series record, 6 home runs and 13 runs batted in, including the first ever postseason walk-off grand slam against the Tigers. Went around on that one, and it's 1-2. That slam coming in the 11th inning of Game 2 against the Tigers. Hit .364 for the series. 2-2.
Good changeup. He's had a good changeup today. We talked a lot about Kobe Lewis and his off-speed pitches, and John Danks has pitched very well himself through 6 innings. And he's utilized his changeup very well. There's one that had Nelly out in front.
5th strikeout for John Danks. 2 of those at the expense of Mike Napoli. He just got to get used to that chant, because he's heard it every time he's been up already today. Folks didn't forget it in the offseason. This is the John Danks who started last year 0-8 with a .525 earned run average through his first 11 starts. He turned it around his next 11 starts. He went 6-1. With an ERA of just over 2.03. But then his final 5 went south again, 2-3, ERA of almost 8. Napoli accustomed to hitting 20 or more out. Got that to the 30 mark last year. 2 outs and Young at first after his go-ahead RBI single, driving in Hamilton. Good slow breaking ball, strike 2.
They're throwing Mike a lot of off-speed pitches. Danks has had 5 strikeouts. 2 of them have been Cruz, 2 of them have been Napoli. First 5 guys in the lineup have not struck out.
That is the view from the new center field plaza. Still have the Nolan Ryan statue, of course. And Vandergriff statue still out there as well. Photo ops with a couple of Miss Texases. And that is a hat trick for Napoli. But the Rangers regain the lead, courtesy Michael Young's first RBI of 2012. Southwest is brought to you by your Texas Ford dealers. Drive the 2012 F-150 Motor Trend Truck of the Year. Ford is the best in Texas. By AT&T, the nation's largest 4G network. AT&T, rethink possible. And by Jack in the Box. Love bacon? Then try the new BLT Cheeseburger Combo for only $4.99 plus tax. Dave Barnett and Tom Grieve, we move to the 7th. It is 3-2, and it is Alexi Ogando time as Colby Lewis goes 100 pitches and 6 innings. He allows 2 runs on 7 hits. He strikes out 9, 2 off his career high, and he walks just 2. Second of which, though, became briefly the tying run. And Ogando delivers a strike to Gordon Beckham.
Yeah, that was an outstanding effort by Colby tonight. He just really was masterful. The way he mixed his pitches, changed speeds. I'd like to have the fastball back to Dunn. But he worked over the hitters exceptionally well today. That was a good first outing.
Tom, he tied the Rangers' opening day strikeout record. Nolan Ryan.
Well, I know Colby was proud to get that opening day assignment. He went out and pitched like an opening day pitcher today, boy. No doubt about it.
Nolan struck out 9. Milwaukee Brewers, April 8, 1991. So now it is Ogando. This time a year ago, new addition to the Rangers rotation. Had a first half which landed in the All-Star game this year. He starts with a strikeout of Beckham.
That was a 97-mile-an-hour, well-located fastball. See Torrealba's glove on the outside corner, and there's the ball.
Alexi's new role. Get the ball to Mike Adams, who will in turn get it to Joe Nathan. The intimidated back of the Ranger bullpen. Alejandro De Aza led off the game with a single, was caught stealing. He has since struck out and lined to Andrews. Ogando came to camp hoping to return to the rotation. Didn't happen when Ron Washington broke the news to him and also to Scott Feldman. Same day, both of whom were having terrific springs. Wash said they were both disappointed, but both took it like pros. Both stretched out as starters, so any need in the rotation, those two will both be ready to fill. Alexi last year winning his first 7 decisions as a major league starter. And a total of 13. And he takes care of De Aza.
Well, 2 strikeouts, 2 97-mile-an-hour fastballs. Nothing fancy right there. That looks like it's right about down the middle of the plate. Actually, a little bit up, a little bit away, maybe. Didn't look like it, the way he swung at it and where it looked on the screen.
Now Brent Burrell hoping to avoid a golden sombrero, and he takes a breaking ball for a strike.
Got to be saying, where's that 97-mile-an-hour fastball on the first pitch?
Lewis Scott Morrell swinging all 3 times. A third of his total. Ogando all over the postseason. 13 appearances, tied for second most ever in a single postseason. That one is foul, and it's 1-2. This date in Rangers history, April 6, 1992, 20 years ago, opening day at the Kingdome. The Rangers with a 9-run 8th beat the Mariners 12-10.
I don't even remember that.
Slicing again out of play for Morrell. Fans showed up hours before the first pitch. Lots were filling up 8 a.m. today. Tailgaters everywhere. Huge anticipation for this opening day. Even standing room tickets have not been available for some time for this one. Strikeout number 4 for Morrell, and Ogando comes out of the bullpen to strike out the side in the 7th inning. Stretch time on opening day. It is promised earlier in the game. Here is a sneak peek of the Three Stooges, the movie. By Burger King, the proud sponsor of opening week baseball. And both starters are now out of this one as John Danks gives way for the bottom of the 7th inning to Addison Reed.
Well, Hawk Harrelson before the game, Dave, was raving about the 3 rookies in the White Sox bullpen, and Reed is one of them. Says they all throw hard. Reed's got a great slider, strikeout pitcher. Likes the makeup for all 3 of them. So when you look at their bullpen and you see names you don't know, don't assume it's necessarily a bullpen that needs an injection of talent. There's Hawk. He loves the 3 rookies in their bullpen.
Reed, a 3rd-round pick out of San Diego State, just 2 years ago. Up for 6 games as you saw last year. Torrealba has bounced to the mound into 3rd. Sends the right fielder Rios back a few steps. Let's check it again with Emily Jones.
Well, guys, as you know, David Murphy has been the Rangers' 4th outfielder the last couple of seasons, but this team recognizes that the best outfield they can have is Murphy in left field, Josh in center, and of course Nelly in right. Murph excited to show what he can do as a regular.
I worked hard in spring training, and you know, sometimes things just fall into place. I think this year just I guess I had a little luck on my side, just with things falling into place, and things worked out. But you know, at the same time, I know there's 162 games. I know there's a lot of hard work ahead, and I'm not taking anything for granted just because I'm in there the first day that I'm going to be in there every day.
And off to a nice start this afternoon in the day against a lefty. That little opposite field single he had earlier. Hopefully it will continue, guys.
Well, I think it will, and I predict a big year for David Murphy because this is the year of the Baylor Bear.
There you go.
There's got to be carryover for David Murphy.
Well, it seems like every year at this time of year we're saying David Murphy is a valuable guy in the team. Looks like he's the fourth outfielder. How will Ron Washington get him the at-bats that he needs? And in the last 4 years, he's had between 404 and 432 at-bats. So it's been just about 400 plus at-bats every year for the last 4 years, and this will probably be no exception, even though he's starting here on opening day.
Only a new starter from a year ago, and Wash is out to opening day lineup. Wash said he earned it with his defense and leadership. Looks at strike 3 here. Reed has the first 2.
Well, after several 95-mile-an-hour fastballs, first time you see the slider, it's not that easy to pull the trigger on it. Like a pretty good third-round pick for the White Sox. Got a reliever in the big leagues this quickly. Not much minor league experience. Last year he pitched in A-ball, AA, and AAA. Struck out 111 batters in 78 innings. Went to spring training and made the ball club.
Here is the Rangers hitting star of the day in Kinsler. Well, Addison Reed at San Diego State fills some big shoes. He followed Steven Strasburg as the ace of the Aztecs. Tony Gwynn. 2009, the National Stopper of the Year, 20 for 20 in save opportunities. Reed says even back to Little League, he always wanted not to be Greg Maddux or Roger Clemens or a great starter. He wanted to be Trevor Hoffman. He wanted to be a big league closer.
Well, that's unusual.
I can't remember ever hearing a player say that. But here he is. And he gets Kinsler to line out to Rio. So a 1-2-3 Rangers 7th. Hometown Kids. It's not about the score, it's about the experience. So tune in each Saturday at 10 a.m. here on Fox Sports Southwest, or visit hometownkids.tv for more information. Alexi Ogando strikes out the side in the 7th inning in relief of a strong opening day start for Kobe Lewis, and Alexi giving way to the Rangers setup and Mike Adams here in the 8th.
Well, Alexi did a great job. Faced 3, struck out 3. Mike's got a little tougher job, though. He's got 1 inning to pitch, but he has to face Dunn and Konerko as the first 2 hitters, the 3rd and 4th place hitters. So he's got the same job as Ogando, set up relief, but a little tougher part of the lineup.
Adams came in officially listed day-to-day today after being struck on a drive on his left calf in the Tuesday night exhibition against Mexico City. Defensive changes. Out in center field is Craig Gentry, and moving from center field to left, Josh Hamilton. So David Murphy out of the game. And here is Adam Dunn, who leading off the 6th inning, put a 3-2 pitch, 431 feet into the upper porch and right.
Kobe tried to throw Dunn several fastballs in, and they looked close. He just wasn't getting the call on that particular pitch. Adams comes in and throws a cutter and catches the corner and gets the call. Trying to keep it right in there.
Didn't go around, says Brian Knight. Here was that leadoff homer in the 6th. Lewis throwing a shutout until that swing.
Kobe wanted to get that ball a little more down, a little more away. Dunn put a good swing on it.
And you wonder maybe why Adam Dunn's batting 3rd on opening day after hitting 159 last year, because he can do that. And he, in doing so, tied the all-time record with his 8th opening day home run, tying Ken Griffey Jr. and Frank Robinson. He's also walked and struck out Rangers with a total of 12 strikeouts, and that is an opening day club record. 9 in 6 innings by Lewis. And Adams a strike away from getting done. Dunn was hitting him a long way out in Arizona, though. 6 home runs this spring. Tied for 2nd in the Cactus League. He's been feeling good about his swing all spring. Rips that one, and perfectly played is Napoli right on the line.
Usually I can watch the screen and look down and pick the ball up. Never picked that ball up. But Rangers shading the line ahead by a run late in the ball game, and paid big dividends right there. Instead of a double down the line, Mike takes it away and turns it into a leadoff out. Well, we saw Dunn a number of times last year. He had a miserable year, and although it's only one game, he's swinging the bat a lot better today than he did at any time against the Rangers last year.
Here's Konerko, who has fouled out, singled, and grounded to 3rd, and he looks at strike 1. Konerko playing in career game number 1,999. Oldest member of this team at age 36. They've gotten considerably younger this year. By more than an average of a year per man to about 28. And it's 0-2.
Good pitch, bottom of the strike zone, good hard sinker. Good place to keep it in a 1-run game to a power hitter.
And the 0-2 pitch will slice into the seats. NASCAR returns to Texas Motor Speedway for night racing during the Samsung Mobile 500 race weekend, April 12th through the 14th. You could win tickets by texting FSN to 63767. Text FSN to 63767 right now for a chance to win. Base hit up the middle, and Konerko is 2 for 4. So the White Sox have the tying run aboard here in the top of the 8th with 1 out. And let's check in with Jim Knox.
All right, Dave, real quick, want to introduce 2 members of the new Fox Sports Southwest team. It's Kami and Liddy. They are the Fox Sports Southwest girls. Kami, how's it been going so far opening day?
Oh, wow. Opening day for the Rangers is amazing. It's an event in Texas that every fan looks forward to, and it's so great that Liddy and I get to really be a part of it. We got here at 9 a.m. when the doors opened, and there wasn't any fans here, and now I look around, fans and see so many red, white, and blue.
All right, now, Liddy, one of the main things you guys are going to be doing, a lot of social media, so how do they get a hold of you guys?
Facebook and Twitter is the best way. Facebook, it's just the Fox Sports Southwest Girls. And Twitter, you can follow us at FSSW_girls.
There we go. Good to have you out there. Good to have you part of the team. We'll look for it throughout the season. Thank you very much, Dave.
All right, Jim, there is a pinch runner, Brent Lillibridge, who has come on to run for Konerko. Speed on the base paths in hopes that A.J. Pierzynski can send him around to tie this game with one out in the top of the 8th against Mike Adams. Pierzynski has popped up, singled, and flied to right. Konerko tomorrow night will play in his 2,000th career game. Pierzynski nearing his 1,500th. This is game number 1,495. One of the most durable catchers in the game since World War II. Lillibridge running, and that one is fouled off. It's 0-2.
Yeah, Pierzynski's a pretty good guy to hit and run with because he's a good contact hitter himself. Not a guy that walks much, doesn't strike out much, puts the ball in play. Lillibridge, the pinch runner, is obviously in there because he has good speed. So Robin Ventura trying a little hit and run right there to get something going, and Pierzynski just fouled it off.
9 months younger than Konerko, age 35. Pierzynski.
The most Pierzynski's ever struck out in a season is 72 times. Most he's ever walked is 24 times, and that's a regular catcher over a 10 or 12 year period. Not a lot of walks, but he makes contact.
Adams acquired from the Padres. Trade deadline last year, July 31st. Just his second time ever to face the White Sox. He worked a scoreless inning last August 19th. Off the fist, and Andrews gets the out at first. 2 outs. Lillibridge in scoring position for Rios.
That was a good pitch by Adams, who really got it in on the hands of Pierzynski. And when the ball hits you on the hands, you just didn't hit it hard enough to have any chance to get the lead runner or a double play. Threw that cutter and just really jammed him.
Elvis gobbles it up. Hasn't had much business at short today. Pop up, line out. It's been as far as ground balls is concerned. So here's Rios. He's popped up, fly to right. Last time up, he worked a 2-out walk and was running on a pitch that Ramirez singled to left and came around to score the tying run in the 6th. The bottom of the inning, the Rangers quickly regain the lead. Hamilton scored an RBI single by Young. Haven't heard the final attendance numbers for today, but one would think it will be an opening day record here at the ballpark for the Rangers. And again, only about 1,000 standing room and obstructed seats left for tomorrow night. Derek Holland against Jake Peavy. And about 5,000 for Easter Sunday night. Grounded right to Napoli. He'll do it unassisted, and Adams does the job in the 8th. A hit and a man left. By Burger King. And Ian Kinsler's been the story. Led the game with a double. Scored on a sac fly by Hamilton. 2-out homer in the 3rd. Hamilton with that RBI, 2 for 2 with a run scored, and Michael Young with the run batted in as well. 49,085 is the official attendance today at a packed Rangers ballpark, where we move to the bottom of the 8th, and we will see the 3rd Chicago pitcher of the afternoon, and it's the veteran left-hander Matt Thornton on for Andrews, Hamilton, and Beltre.
Thornton's one of those guys that has a nice, easy motion and pops it up there anywhere from 92 to occasionally as high as 97 or 98. Always been a good setup guy. Hasn't had a lot of success as a closer yet. Trent Lillibridge stays on for Konerko at first base.
Elvis today, a sacrifice bunt in the 1st, which was very helpful. He got Kinsler to 3rd after that lead double from where he scored on the Hamilton sacrifice fly. Elvis has since flied out and grounded out. Robin Ventura kept everybody in the dark as to his selection as closer all spring long. One hopper. Morel recovers, but the throw is late.
Morel's had a couple of tough hops at third base, in between hops. He was able to recover to get a runner early in the game, but he couldn't get Elvis with great speed on this ball. And it takes a bad hop on him. Unpredictable hop, not a bad hop, but an unpredictable hop. Stays with it, just couldn't get the glove on it.
And that goes as an E5 charge to Brent Morel. So leadoff man on here in the bottom of the 8th. Rangers looking for an insurance run. Here is Hamilton, who has accomplished something each of his first 3 at bats. This one just off the windows of the writer's box just to our right. That is very good likeness, about a foot shorter maybe of the real Yu Darvish.
Well, there's a guy out in Seattle that does Ichiro that looks a lot like Ichiro. I think that one might even be better.
You can see the real you here Monday night against Seattle. And about 10,000 tickets available for that game Monday night. That's not bad. That's about as good as that guy could do.
That's really good.
He's doing well for himself. You have to give him that. We were seeing the Darvish jerseys and T-shirts upon arrival at the airport out in Phoenix for spring training. Talking about an immediate impact, but blending in as well as humanly possible. Immediately part of the locker room, part of the culture, part of the locker room camaraderie we were discussing earlier with Mark McLemore. Credit to him, credit to his teammates. They all make it work. 0-2 pitch popped into shallow left field, and Alexei Ramirez drifts back to make the play. Let's check in with Jim Knox.
Thanks, Dave. Time for the Progressive fan of the game. You know, on any given night, it could be the Lowell Strangers, but hey, it's opening day, and it's got to be Alex Styles taking his father to the home opener for how many straight years? 16 consecutive. Way to go, 16 straight. Pregnant wife at home, but Alex Styles. There we go, but you still win the Progressive bag of the game. Congratulations, Ranger fans, and Alex having a good time. Allison.
All right, one out. Andrews at first. Here is Adrian Beltre looking for his first hit. He's twice flied to center. Last time up, grounded to third. And the pitch out with nothing on.
I thought he was going too. Yeah, always has a good lead. Always a threat to go.
Elvis last year, 5th in the league, 37 steals. Beltre last year won his 3rd Gold Glove, added a Silver Slugger, 3rd Ranger third baseman to have a 30 homer, 100 RBI season. And then the 8th 3-home run game in postseason history at Tampa Bay. Out of play again at 95 miles an hour from Thornton. With the Rangers' new closer readying for his debut, Joe Nathan.
A lot of hard throwers out in the White Sox bullpen. Thornton, Santiago, Crane, Jones, Reed. All those guys are mid-90s. You see that more and more now. A lot of hard throwing guys out in the bullpen.
Adrian laying off that pitch up, and it's 2-2. And Thornton, given health this year, will in all likelihood pass Bobby Thigpen for most relief outings in White Sox franchise history. 112 years involved there. This pop-up will be playable. Backing out is Beckham for out number 2. So Elvis still at first for Michael Young. Michael flied out his first 2 trips, then singled in Hamilton. Give the Rangers the lead back at 3-2 in the 6th. First pitch he saw from John Danks. And Thornton has had Michael's number. He is 0 for 7 with a strikeout. Only time he's ever reached on Thornton was via a walk. And he lifts this one to right field. Rios drifting back a few steps. And Thornton works around Morel's error, getting us to the 9th inning. Bottom third of the order due up against the new Ranger closer, Joe Nathan, when we return. Fox Sports Southwest is brought to you by your Texas Ford dealers. Visit your local Ford dealer. Drive the 2012 F-150. Motor Trend Truck of the Year. Ford is the best in Texas. By Budweiser. Great times are waiting. Grab some buds. And by the Progressive Insurance Group for money-saving car insurance quote. Call 1-800-PROGRESSIVE today. Dave Barnett and Tom Grieve, 49,085 packing Rangers ballpark. All getting a look now at their new closer, the veteran, over from the Minnesota Twins, Joe Nathan.
Well, it's the first game of the season, and if you're Ron Washington, you get the 6 stellar innings from your starter that you're looking for on opening day from Kobe Lewis. And then you've got your bullpen set up for Ogando, Adams, and Nathan, 7th, 8th, and 9th. And here it is. Joe Nathan joins the Rangers. First game as a Ranger, 1-run lead in the 9th inning at home in front of 50,000 people. So it doesn't get much better than that.
For the game, he was saying he feels he is physically all the way back from Tommy John surgery, 2 years removed now. And said he never really gave a thought to joining the Rangers because he didn't think it would be possible until the actual transaction was discussed with his agent during the offseason. In 2 pitches, he takes care of Alexei Ramirez.
I love what Joe said at the banquet yesterday at the luncheon. He said, as soon as I heard from the Rangers, I basically told my agent, try to get it done. And as soon as he did, I talked to no other team. Once they called, that's who I wanted to play for.
This is one enthusiastic new member of this team.
The other thing you love about that, Dave, is the fact that over most of the Rangers' 40 years, there haven't been a lot of cases where you've heard pitchers say, as soon as the Rangers called, I didn't want to talk to anybody else.
None come to mind, actually.
A lot of times it was the Rangers called and I didn't care.
Well, Luciedo, who has doubled, flied out and struck out. Ball in the strike. One reason he's happy to be here is because he doesn't have to pitch against the Rangers anymore. So that was never an enjoyable process.
A couple of pitches didn't miss by much. No, good call. Good call on both of them. They were borderline pitches that were out of the strike zone. Good job by Mike Winters behind home plate today, by the way.
Nathan, pre-Tommy John, led the big leagues with a 246 save run from 04 to 09 with the Twins. There's strike two. Yeah, the second lowest ERA in that span, 187, third most strikeouts among all big league relief pitchers. Popped up. Medium right for Cruz, and the Rangers are 1 out away on opening day.
You know, Joe Nathan's been a tremendous closer for quite a while. But I'm sure he'll tell you that this will be one of his nicest thrills in baseball if he's able to close this game out by getting Beckham right here.
Beckham has twice struck out in between. He singled back in the fifth. He's off that same pitch.
Yeah, he swung at it once. We'll see if he swing at it again.
Look around this park. Looks like all 49,085 on their feet for strike two. That does it. Joe Nathan saves his first game as a Ranger, and opening day goes to Texas.
Well, you talk about mapping out a perfect scenario for game one. You get some timely hits. Michael Young got a base hit. Man on second base. First time we've been in scoring position. He drives in a run, what he does. And then Kobe Lewis goes out and pitches 6 strong innings in the bullpen. 7th, 8th, and 9th. Ogando, Adams, and Nathan, just like it's drawn up, come in and get the job done. First appearance for Joe Nathan. Opening day. Called strike 3 to end the ball game, and he gets his first save as a Ranger on opening day. That's just a nice thing to watch.
For Ranger pitching, the 13th strikeout of the day. Club record for an opening day. And the Rangers win their fourth.